The fashion and textile industry is the second largest in Africa with a value of 31 billion US dollars and Nigeria accounting for 15% of that amount. How much of these are Nigerian fashion entrepreneurs tapping into? This is our focus today on SME Hub. And I have joining me Kola Kuddus, Creative Director, Kola Kuddus Couture. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good to have you on the show. So tell us, Kola Kuddus Couture, how did you delve into this business?
Thank you very much. I started my fashion journey way back 2002 when I was a student at University of Lagos. I started doing personal shopping.
That's about 20 years ago.
Yeah, for my friends. So I didn't start by making my own clothes. I started doing personal shopping for clothes, accessories for my friends, families, and that was how the journey began.
Okay, so 2002 till now, what has changed?
So I went to fashion school, started my home brand, and grown the ladder, done a couple of fashion shows here and there, both in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, and we're here today.
Okay, so talk to us about some of the trainings you've done, because that would count for the experience you've garnered over the years.
Okay, so like I said, I started my journey as a personal shopper. At a point in time, I decided I needed to start my own clothing line because I was able to realize that what I was selling to people then wasn't even clothes. It was the uniqueness. So I decided to transcend that idea of creating my own unique pieces and with my own brand. So after I finished uni, I went to Nobel Afrique fashion school. I did a diploma in dressmaking. That was in 2006.
Okay.
And in 2007, I went to London College of Fashion. I did fashion design and production. I went to Central St. Martin's in London. I did personal styling. And I came back to Nigeria, set up my own brand officially February 13, 2008.
Okay, so from between 2002 and 2008, you were growing the knowledge base for the business.
Exactly. As of 2003, close to ending of 2003, I started designing and outsourcing production. So basically what I do is once I design, I get the fabrics, I give them to tailors to make for me. But you know, there's a level they work to and you're not satisfied. And you know, you just want to bring your ideas to life. So that was one of the things that prompted me into going to fashion school.
So why men's fashion?
When I was in fashion school, typically 80% of what we learned was women's wear.
Okay.
But you know, my strength has always been menswear. I started out making women's wear as well, but at the end of the day, I realized I had more strength after 2 years of doing menswear, women's wear. I realized I had more strength in menswear, so I decided to focus on my strength and grow it further.
So talk to us about the challenges you've faced so far.
So like every business, so one of my, I wouldn't say a challenge, but you know, when I look back, I wish I actually did my whole uni degree in fashion. I did my first degree.
But do we have that in the universities?
Yes,
fashion as a course of study?
Yes.
In Nigeria?
So we have industrial fashion.
Oh, really?
Yaba College of Tech and a lot of universities. So they offer fashion courses. You know, but as at then, it was a thing, but it wasn't as popular as now, you know. So now everybody is more enlightened, more aware. And then typically what happens then was, you know, people that study fashion, then most of them, or let me say 80% of them, were people that just found themselves in
by
fashion.
Accident.
Yeah, exactly. So you find out 80% of them, when you look back today, you don't find them doing anything related to fashion. So it was just more of accidental that they went into the fashion department. So sometimes I feel like I wish I had done that, and you know, I would have had more solid background.
Yeah, but with all the trainings you've done, that should have covered.
Well, I mean, you know, if you had that like 4 years, it would have been more solid, you know. Yeah, so I mean, the challenges, like every other business, funding is a challenge for every business. Starting up, growing the business, wanting to move the business.
How did you get funding for capital?
So for me, starting up, like I said, I started to personal styling for my friends in school. So I was already making money when I was in uni. You know,
So you're already saving.
not like a lot of money, but I mean, I could have some savings, buy some machines. I had.
But how much were students willing to pay? You know how it is that students will just want you to do something for them for free.
So I went to University of Lagos. If you know University of Lagos, University of Lagos is one of the most fashionable schools as at then. I don't know about now, but then people were willing to look good. People were willing to spend. I mean, even for me, I mean, I could use my feeding money to buy clothes just to look good, and that was how I became noticed by people, my friends, and everybody were like, "Oh, okay, I like what you're wearing," and that's how the journey started. So people that don't mind to compromise, they want to look good, are willing to spend, even as students. You know, so I was able to build.
But how were you able to bridge that gap between friendship and customer paying for what you are given or what you're sold?
So basically, like I said, so people come to me. So when I'm doing personal shopping for me, you pay me for me to buy stuffs for you. So I don't use my money to buy. You know, I didn't start the journey by using my own personal funds. Okay. So I didn't even in the starting, I didn't have my own personal fund to invest for anybody. So it was you making an order, you make. So
you never had issues with some friends saying, can't you just do this for me? Am I not your friend?
Typically, so people come to you and they want to buy your old stuff at a discounted price. So that's what happens most times. So maybe
you had it easy then, because a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you, man, it was difficult trying to draw that line.
So getting into the business proper, that's when you start to face issues like that.
Oh, okay.
But as students, I didn't really face a lot of that. But starting up, somebody comes to you, makes a 40% deposit and tells you, oh, once my clothes is ready, I pay off the balance. He sends his driver to pick the clothes and tells you, oh, I'll do a transfer to you, and you have entered one chance.
Wow. So do you do both custom made and ready to wear?
Yes, we do both custom made.
How do you come up with your concepts?
So for me, it depends on the market I'm designing for. It depends on who I'm designing for. It depends on my mood at that time, you know. So if I'm feeling in a very sort of way, I feel like, okay, I have this new idea I want to play with. So now we're trying to work like on a sports collection, you know, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can do sport and military inspired collection. So it's coming to me, I don't know from where, but I can start doing my sketches down, start putting things together, putting my mood board together. I might not do it till next year, but I already have it. So anytime I get such inspirations, I put them down and start building something around it. And once it's time, it will be easy to.
So looking at the fact that it takes a process, right, before you come up with the idea, the drawing, the drafting and all that, do you have that fear of your style getting stolen out there? Do you think of patenting your style?
So typically, the only reason why your style will be copied is because it's good. And I mean, the people get inspired by your designs, people copy your designs, and there's just a little you can do about it, especially in this
part of
environment that we have. So people do a lot of copyrights and patenting on designs, but you know, when you talk about patenting, it costs a lot of money. And even when you do copyright of a design, you also want to look at the economic value. So if I'm paying, for example, 1 million or 5 million to patent a design, how much am I willing to make from that one particular design? So if you're not going to make a whole lot from one particular design, it doesn't make any economic sense to patent it. So except I know, oh, from this jacket, I intend to make $1 million. Now I can go ahead and patent it. Do you understand?
But have you ever done anything like that?
No, I've not done.
Do you have the fears of your style getting stolen, or you really do not mind?
I mean, a lot of times I've seen my styles on different people, and you know, there's little or nothing you can do
with different watered down editions.
If you don't have a right on it, or you don't patent it, there's little or nothing you can do about it.
So how does the process work? I'm talking about the value chain. How, from the conceptualization to the drawing and all that, how does it go? Okay,
so typically I work in different ways. Sometimes I work from front to back, sometimes I work from back to front. So this is what I mean. So sometimes the typical way is, oh, you have an idea or an inspiration, you put that in the inspiration, you start to build around it, like put your mood board together, you go out today, you see something that you like, you take a picture of it, attach it, you start building the collection gradually, you know. Then from there, sometimes you can decide to get some guys that are illustrators and give them a brief on, okay, I want to build a collection that is sporting but military inspired. You give them a brief to work on, they come up with designs. Now typically for me, what I will do is, even after I receive those designs, I will still work on them, tweak them to what I really want.